Are video games art? A lot of you are probably, rightfully, sick of this question, because it's a very silly one. It has a very easy and objectively correct answer. It's about as much of a debate as man-made climate change. Only difference being that if you're wrong about it, it's not the literal end of the world. But, of course, there's people who think that video games aren't art. Thing is, a large part of the video game industry seems to agree with them. Recently, WB Interactive's patent for the Nemesis system was approved, and I'm pretty peeved about it. If you don't know, the Nemesis system appears in Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War, and it's by far the best thing about those games. It's genuinely brilliant. I won't go over how it works. Game Maker's Toolkit made a fantastic video explaining it very well recently, so you should check that out if you want a greater understanding of what makes it tick. The important thing to understand, though, is that ultimately, it's a way to tell a story and create a unique gameplay experience. Any way you look at it, the Nemesis system is a way to create art. Patenting that would be like patenting the flashback or having branching paths. It's not something that you should be able to do. All it does is hurt the industry and kill the creative endeavors of other studios and indie creators. If you look at the core components the Nemesis system is made of, it's essentially a big, complex, procedurally generated dialogue tree. Needless to say, the amount of potential stories that could be created with a similar system in other games is literally endless. Those stories are pretty much not possible now. I won't get into the specifics of the patent. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to read it. Even if we generously assume that WB Interactive won't actually use this patent to take legal action, the fact that they legally can is the issue. No game studio, especially indie, will ever try to implement anything even vaguely adjacent to it with that threat looming over them. WB Interactive, of course, aren't the only example of this, nor are they the first. Bloober Team recently patented the simultaneous world split-screen mechanic from their new game, The Medium. Worst part is, they explicitly said that they don't even plan on using this mechanic again in the future. Bloober Team, I have a genuine question for you. What's even the point of creating a really cool and creative game mechanic if you aren't gonna use it outside of one game and won't let other studios and developers iterate on the idea and improve on it in other games? You have been working on this game and this idea for so long, only to basically kill the dual reality concept as soon as it's out there. What does that accomplish? I genuinely want to know, because the way I see it, all it does is slow down progress in the game industry. Progress happens when developers see the ideas and accomplishments of other games, go, "That's rad," and get inspired by them. Basically, every game idea can be summed up with the sentence, "blank but blank." Rocket League is football but cars, The Messenger is Ninja Gaiden but time travel, Heavy Rain is a movie but stupid. It applies to everything, including the Nemesis system and dual reality split screen. Those systems didn't just pop out of thin air, they are derivative of previous game mechanics and systems previously seen in many games. I already mentioned that the Nemesis system is based on procedurally generated branching paths. That's not something new. It's the whole bread and butter of roguelikes. Use that system to give special traits, personalities, hierarchies, and memories to your enemies, things that once again by themselves are not anything new, and you have Nemesis. Same with the medium split screen. The first Legend of Zelda had a big open world that you could explore. Then A Link to the Past was like, boom, let's have two worlds that are like the same but kinda different and connected. The concept sort of took off from there. There's a lot of games that put different spins on the two worlds idea. Hey, what if a thing you do in one world affects the other? You could do some really cool puzzles. The Messenger was like, hey, what if I use this concept in a 2D platformer? What sort of awesome level design could I pull off that way? Then the medium said, hey, let's have those two worlds at the same time. That's awesome! But there was a whole journey to get to that point, an evolution. If in any of these previous stages, the team responsible patented their idea, the progress that led us here would be severely impeded. That's what Bloober Team and WB Interactive did. They decided that these paths end here, that this is as far as they go. They can't be iterated upon or explored further. They took their ball and they went home. The saddest part about this is that the precedent for this stuff has been officially set. I've already mentioned that you shouldn't be able to patent ways to create art, and I stand by that. And most game devs understand that creating any art, including games, is a collaborative effort with the pieces of art that came before. You get inspired from them, learn from them, take the best from them with you. Claiming ownership of the finished product itself or an IP is one thing, and totally valid, but you can't own the method to create it. I don't want to see this become a regular occurrence. This is the mindset of a games industry that treats the games they make not like art, but like products. And that's just kinda sad. By the way, Bloober Team, if you're still watching, leave Silent Hill the fuck alone!